It's Miss Alana here, working on math, getting smarter and smarter every day, just like you. Now, this video is a part of our math test prep tutorial video series. If you need help, watch these videos. If not, you don't need to watch them unless you just want to. All right. So this is question number 16 in the domain of number and operations fractions. It says, which of the following expressions have a product less than 2? So one says, I can't see. All right, one says 1/12 times 2. Number 2 says 3/4 times 2. Number 3, 7/3 times 2. And number 4 is 9/5 times 2. So the question says, which of the following expressions have a product less than 2? Okay. Now, what do you notice that's the same about all of these? All right, we're multiplying all of them by 2. And we're multiplying the 2 by a fraction. Now, what do you notice about the fractions? Okay, they're different fractions. I have some improper fractions. Okay, the fraction came first when we multiply. All right, so let me do a really quick lesson on something. Well, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this, okay? So the first way is to multiply, all right? So we're just going to multiply them out. Let me see. I'm going to block this out like this. All right. You see my work right there? Okay, so the question says, which of the following expressions have a product less than 2? So what I did is I multiplied each one to see what the answer was, to see if the answer was less than 2. 2 whole, okay? So look at number 1. 1/12 times 2 whole. Now, for these 2 wholes, I need to make that a fraction by doing what? Putting a 1 under it, okay? So if you notice on each of these, I wrote 2 over 1, 2 over 1, 2 over 1, 2 over 1. So for number 1, 1/12 times 2 over 1 equals 2 over 12. I simplify by dividing the numerator and the denominator by 2, and I get 1/6. All right, look at number 2, 3/4 times 2 over 1. So I do 3 times 2. Remember, multiply the numerators across. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 1 is 4. And then we simplify by dividing by 2, and I get 3/2. And that is an improper fraction. And if you look right here, I divide it to make it a mixed number, and I get 1 1/2. All right, look at number 3. For number 3 right here, I have 7/3 times 2 over 1. I multiply, get 14 over 3. Well, I can't simplify that by dividing, but I can change that into a mixed number, which I did it right here. 14 divided by 3 is 4 whole and 2 left over. So it's 4 2/3. And for the last one, I wrote 9/5 times 2 over 1. 9 times 2 is 18 over 5. And that is an improper fraction. So when I divide to make it a mixed number, I get 3 3/5. So looking at these answers, which of these have a product that is less than, I messed up. All right. Which has a product less than 2? It's number 1 and number 2. Guess what I did? I put C. So I put an answer C. That is wrong. That is wrong. What did I do? I did the answers greater than 2. So I worked everything out right, but because I made a mistake and I did greater than 2, my answer is wrong. Oh my gosh. All right, I gotta cross this out. Okay. So it's 1 and 2. I messed up on that one. Okay. I'm gonna cross that out. I'm going to draw an arrow for myself. And I'm going to write these products are greater than 2. Okay, so I made a little note for myself. So these products are greater than 2, so that was wrong. Okay, now I'm going to show you another way to figure out the answer without actually having to multiply. What? All right, now, where is it? Okay, hold on. Look right here. Do you see this? 2 times 1 equals 2, right? Now, if I want for my answer, when I multiply by 2, you see how I'm multiplying by 1? If I want this answer to be less than 2, well, what do I have to multiply it by? A number less than 1. And if I want my answer to be more than 2, greater than 2, I need to multiply 2 by something greater than 1. So look at these little notes that I made. So 2 times any number that's less than 1, so that would be a fraction, will give me an answer less than 2. If I multiply 2 by any number greater than 1, the answer would be greater than 2. So looking at that and looking at our choices, look at this. 2 times, is this number less than 1 or greater than 1? It's less than 1, which means my answer will be less than 2. Just like what we did down here. Look at this one. 3/4. Is that less than 1 or greater than 1? It's less than 1, which means my answer is going to be equal to less than 2, which is the same thing we did down here. Now look at number 3. 2 times 7/3. Now that is greater than 1, which means that answer is going to be greater than that whole number 2. Same thing for 4. That's an improper fraction. That 9/5 is greater than 1 whole. So if I multiply that by 2, the answer is going to be greater than 2. All right, so 2 different ways to work that out. And if you're still confused about how to do this, I can explain that to you again, or you can watch it again, or we could do more practice, okay? All right, we are almost done, so find the other videos if you need the other videos. If not, just go get the rest of it done, okay? All right, love you. Mwah.